Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. In this video I'm going to be restoring and customizing this little Majorette Jeep Wrangler. It's a Jeep CJ-7. These were produced from 1980 until 2010. It's a good run. And this red version with the Wrangler tampo on the bonnet was released from 1988 until 1991. It originally had a black plastic hard top on it. They came out in a roll bar version as well. If you go to the Majorette wiki page for them, you can actually see dozens and dozens of different colour schemes and branded ones, etc. Taking a look at this example, we can see it's had quite a hard time. The hard top's missing, the front windscreen has been broken, the pin has come out at the back of it, and the body's just sort of loosely flapping around. And it's fairly rusty around the axles and suspension. All in all, it's a genuine die-cast disaster. I start by drilling out the single rivet. It's recessed quite deep because of the Bigfoot base. Next, with some poly stripper to remove the old red paint. Now I can use a wire brush on my rotary tool to remove the remaining paint and get rid of all the oxidation off of the casting. I did see if it was possible to bend this window frame back up, but as I expected it just snapped off. But this isn't a problem because it probably would have been more difficult to fix with it on there anyway. I cut out a replacement window frame from some thick styrene sheet. This was then filed and sanded to shape. I wasn't actually happy with this particular attempt, so I ended up doing it again. That's looking a bit better. It was given a coat of primer. I painted it in a light yellowy orange. I always find it a bit tricky painting orange colours. I was pretty happy with how this came out, except that it did pull a little bit around one of the tiny Jeep signs. I printed out these decals to put on the front. Rewinding a little bit, I fabricate a roll bar section for the back of the Jeep. I gave this a decent coat of primer and then it was painted black. Moving on to the base of the car, it's a bit of a rusty mess in there. These tyres are pretty worn out, I'm not going to be using those. I used some pliers to remove the rusty suspension wire. The rusty axles and wheels come straight out. Now for a tidy up with the wire brush. I use the rusty old suspension wire as a guide to make a new one. The plastic interior is pretty filthy, so I take it for a wash in some hot soapy water. Here it is looking a lot cleaner. I now paint it and detail it. So here are our parts, painted and ready to go back together. I'm going to replace the old worn out wheels with these nice new looking ones. I must have been having a bit of a slow day because I've actually forgot to put the interior in this. Anyway, now it was just a matter of putting the pieces back together. Before we take a look at our finished Jeep CJ, let's take a moment to look back and be reminded of what we started with. A real diecast disaster of a little Majorette with a body that's just about coming off the base, a broken windscreen and missing hardtop, worn out wheels and rusty old suspension. And here is our finished custom repair. A repaired windscreen, some roll bars added, new tyres, and flash new orange paint job and decals. A pretty nice turnaround for a little toy that probably could have gone in the bin in other circumstances. I was really happy with how this turned out. I think the orange colour and the red decals on the front look really cool. It's a little bit of a pity about the paint pooling around the Jeep sign on the side, but you can't win them all, I suppose. So I think it's time to take our little Jeep Wrangler out to the country for a photo shoot and some off-roading. I'll now take a moment to welcome all of my new subscribers and say a big thanks to everyone for the great comments and likes on my videos. An extra special thanks to my Patreons. You can check out their names doing a fancy scroll up in the credits. If you'd like to help support the channel and get to see a little bit of extra content now and again, you can check out my Patreon page. There'll be a link in the description below. Thanks heaps for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe.